Our natural environment is like a life support system. The oceans, glaciers, and waterways, the air we breathe, the land we use for food and resources, and the flora and fauna that form the intricate web of life. Life would not be possible without all of these things existing in harmony. Everything we do at home, at work, and everywhere in between impacts on our environment. Consumers and organizations at all levels are increasingly aware of their environmental impact, so having a good environmental record can give a business a considerable advantage in the modern marketplace. Yet despite the momentum towards more sustainable economies, we are still using resources and producing waste faster than the environment can handle.
Great lady, Eugina O Liberty. She is actually the intimacy coach and speaker, and trying to influence the world by loving them, by teaching them. Hi, Eugina, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well. I think your sound is breaking up a little bit again.
Eugenia, tell us about yourself, how you are transforming yourself, and how you are influencing the world actually.
Hi, well, my name is Eugina O Liberty, and I'm an international pleasure and intimacy coach, and I support singles in becoming confident in dating by unleashing their true desires, creating more love, more pleasure, and more intimacy in people's lives. And saying that, I'm working not only with single people, I'm working with a lot of people in relationship, helping them creating better understanding, better communication, more love, more connection in their life. um, because I am on the mission in the world to create more love and more connection and more pleasure, because I also believe that especially in a current situation in the world, a love, an authentic connection is the real currency. I also believe that there would be less wars. There would be less all kinds of natural disasters, if, like, especially man-made disasters, if there would be more pleasure in the world. So I'm taking it as my personal responsibility to support people in creating that in their life. More love, more pleasure, more intimacy. Um, because we humans, we were born for authentic connection. We were born for intimacy. And like, let's say an example, when the baby is born, if you don't give baby an affection, if you don't hug the baby, don't hold the baby, baby gonna die. And we are exactly the same. We are big babies walking around, and it's like deciding for ourselves that it's not safe, that it's like bringing all kinds of stories into our lives. Some of them are true, some of them not, but most of the time they're self-destructive stories. And I help people to release those stories and create actually the true joy in their life.
Okay, so what is the importance of relation in our lives and how we can be happy uh, on every moment, in a sad moment or in an every disastrous moment?
So what is the relations in our life? Well, we all the time we are in a relationship. We are all, like, every moment of every day we are in a relationship. We're in a relationship with the outside world with people around us, whether that's our friends or family or boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or kids, you know, grandparents. We are in relationship with the nature. We are in relationship with ourselves. And I will tell you, so this is the main relationship that you will ever going to have, is the relationship with yourself. Because the way you treat yourself, you set the tone to all of your relationships on the outside world. So most of the people, for some reason, don't treat themselves with kindness. They would treat some granny crossing the street with kindness. They would do anything to for their neighbor, you know, but they would not treat themselves with kindness. I have worked with people who would absolutely attack themselves mentally and just like gonna keep saying to themselves how terrible they are, how worthless they are, how non-important and unlovable they are. And unfortunately, so many people are treating themselves in a very disgusting way like that. You know, like you wouldn't treat your friend like that. You wouldn't tell your friend that, hey, you know, I am like, you are, you know, piece of garbage. But most of people would talk to themselves like that. So you asking me how to create, how to be happy every moment of all the time. Unfortunately, you cannot be happy, you know, 100% of the time. We are in a human reality. We have got a massive spectrum of emotions that is not only happiness. There is a sadness and anger and grief. But i can I can't tell you how to be happy 100% of the time, but I can tell you how to be content 100% of the time. And that is acceptance. It's acceptance of yourself, it's acceptance of your emotions, it's acceptance of people and situations around you. Because what happens most of the time, that when things, that we create stories in our head, it's like, oh, but this person, you know, should be acting this way, or this person, or like my wife should be doing this, or my husband should be doing that. So we put the expectations on them, and when they don't act the way we think that they should be acting, we get disappointed. And when we get disappointed, we get angry, we get resentful, we get upset. And it's like, oh my God, but why I can't be happy? They just like doing these bad things to me. So we put responsibility of our happiness on somebody else, instead of like, hey, you know what? This person is acting this way and it's their choice. Because we don't learn respect each other's choices. We don't learn to understand each other's choices. And this is the biggest problem, because, you know, in life, everyone has got a choice. And when people say, I don't know, not knowing is also a choice, because you can choose to know, you can choose the way you react and respond to people and situations. And once you learn how to accept what is without trying to manipulate the outcome, then you're going to be content in your life. I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Eugenia. Yes, every time we cannot be happy, the emotions are the human reality, and we have to we can be sad, we can be happy, we can, you know, all type of emotions are there. Uh, so how can we develop the confidence in a human being that has lower confidence? Even I believe the speaking power is lower in the people, while speaking power make us really a confident person. So how do you think that What do you think that speaking to others or speaking to the public is a power and boost the self-confidence?
You know, public speaking is not for everybody. Like, public speaking is the first fear that is out there. People are scared to speak in public more than they're scared to die. So, and it's again, it all comes from fear of being judged, fear of being misunderstood, fear of saying the wrong thing, and like all of these kind of things. And it's okay. But how to develop self confidence is, first of all, start believing that you matter. What you feel matters. Start believing that what you believe is true is true. It's true to you. It doesn't have to be true to anybody else, but it has to be true to you. But because we are so busy, look good and avoid looking bad, that we forget to actually check in with ourselves and see, it's like, hey, how do I feel right now? It's like, what this person says to me, does it seems to me that it's true, or do I just take it for granted that it is true and I don't question it? And then when you follow something that somebody else says and it doesn't feel right, people very often don't have a courage to speak up and say, it's like, hey, it doesn't feel right. They just like overstep their own boundaries and do things they actually don't really want to do. And that is in fact what diminishes the confidence, like that we choose believe others over ourselves. So when you're gonna choose yourself and you're gonna believe yourself, that what you feel is true, that what you think matters, that what you experience is valid, then you're gonna start building your confidence. When you're gonna look for possibilities to speak to people, who, it doesn't have to be in public, it can be in private, because not many people actually have got enough courage to speak in public, especially about something that is super vulnerable for them. So when you're gonna find that one person to speak to and actually express yourself and say how you feel and say how what happens for you, this is when you can start moving things forward. And if you are scared to talk, you can always write things down, you can always journal, you can always actually see what is happening here and put it on paper so you can see that.
Okay. How do you believe? Why do you believe that body, mind, and spirits are three pillars for the foundation for coaching?
Well, it's in my understanding, body, mind, and spirit are one whole, right? It's like we are not only body, we are not only mind, and we are not only spirit. We also have got emotional body, we also have got mental body. We have got all of these bodies in us. And what happens sometimes our mind and our spirit and our body are in disbalance. Sometimes we want to look good and be very, like, let's have an example. There is a fat person who wants to lose weight, right? It's like, for that person to go on a diet will not be enough, because in their mind they always gonna be thinking, it's like, oh, but what if I gonna have this burger, what if I gonna have that piece of cake, so it's like, while they're trying to lose weight, they always thinking about, how they can just like put more food in themselves. They essentially are, even if they're doing well with their diet, they're gonna like stop it and just like stuff their face one day. So that is not healthy. That is torture. So when you develop a positive mental attitude towards a diet, and actually, like, in fact, me myself, I have discovered recently that my body is allergic to eggs and, you know, dairy products and meat and things like that. So I had to change my diet, you know. And what was happening, that I had to develop a positive mental attitude that it's not something I have to work hard for. It's something that is easy for me because it's for my health, right? And that's how it has been easy. So I had to change my mental attitude so that I can implement change into my body, right? So it's like, and that means that I have to exercise. It means I have to watch what I'm eating. And it also means that I have to watch the thoughts I am allowing to pass through me, because it's all about the consumption. We don't consume only, you know, in our body. We consume information. We consume, you know, what we see around ourselves. We like, it's all the consumptions. And if you choose to consume things that destroy you and make you feel like shit, then, you know, it's like, then you're gonna eventually gonna feel like shit. But if you choose to consume good food, good information that brings you and builds you up, then eventually you're going to be in a high vibration. So how is this body, mind, and spirit? Is because it's never only body, it's never only mind, it's never only spirit. It all three have to be in alignment. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. You are right. Our body, mind, heart, everything should be in the alignment so that body can work means in 100%. Mind, heart, body, language, mean while you're speaking actually, and while doing everything, means every connection should be should work with a strong bonding. It should not be that your mind is saying something else, your heart is saying something different, and you are trying to make them think that basically start making problem for the body and for the whole system, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do what do you think that the healthy environment is the main is a key to healing ourselves, and what is the importance of healthy environment in our life?
Well, if you want to be healthy, you better have a healthy environment around you, you know. And by that I mean the place where you can relax mentally and like actually relax your emotions. Because what happens, we and you can create this environment anywhere, even in your home. Like, watch less TV, watch less news, you know, watch less news that are actually upsetting you. Watch more things that are creating positivity in you. Listen to things that make you feel good. That is a healthy environment. Be in nature more. Go out and spend time in nature. We are human. We were created to be in nature. It's super important. Allow your mind to relax. Read nice books. Do a course that helps you to understand yourself more. That would be a healthy environment. Cook yourself a nice food. Spend time with people who you really enjoy spending time with, not who you should be spending time with. That is a healthy environment.
Okay, Eugenia, when do you think that you are made for a speaker and intimacy coach? When do you think you were actually doing job before this, I think, isn't it?
Yes, I was working in a global law firm before I started my career in coaching. And to be honest, I didn't know until 30 years old. I couldn't find myself. I didn't know what I want to do. I was starting many, many things, and I never could carry on with any of them. I was losing my interest very, very quickly. So I just went into self-development course because my emotional pain, like my father passed away, and I can tell you that um, I couldn't handle my emotional pain after a while, and I went to look for release. How can I heal that? How can I feel better? Because I couldn't understand what was happening, because I never ever paid attention to my emotions. In fact, all my life I was told not to feel, and all my life I was trying not to feel. And when my father passed away, I couldn't feel. I didn't feel anything. And then, like 1 month later, all the emotions just came at me at once. It was such intense situation that I didn't know how to handle myself. So I knew in that moment that I needed help. And I went and I looked for help, and I found help, and I learned to connect with my emotions. That this is why I teach this now, because once upon a time I needed my own help. I needed to understand how I'm operating, why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, what is happening inside of me, what emotions are inside of me, why am I trying to hide myself, why I was uncomfortable, why I was sad, why I was ashamed. All of the things that I could not understand. I needed my own help at, like in the beginning. And when I started healing myself and I started understanding myself, I actually started helping other people, and I could help more people by sharing with them what has been giving them tools of what has been helping me. And many people started coming back to me and saying, "Is like, oh my God, Eugina, this is really helpful. Thank you so much." And people started having a great results in their life. People would come to me and say, "Hey, I want to fall in love, and I want to create a family. Can you help me? I'm afraid to speak to a woman." And we would work on this issue, and then my client would go and find the woman of his dreams and fall in love and start creating a family. Then I see like my clients start falling in love. It's like all these things would start happening. They start receiving what they wanted in their life the most. And I was like, wow, I think I'm really good at this. So I just carried on and carried on. And and it has been quite a lot of pressure in the beginning, of course, but again, my desire to make this work has been so much bigger than my fear of, speaking up in public, because it has been my fear once also. But then again, you just have to do it. Like, if you feel that this is your calling, just do it, and just do it more and more and more until you feel comfortable and confident. Because, one thing I
Uh,
will tell you, that we feel that we have to be perfect, that we have to be experts before we actually are. And this creates so much tension, because we don't feel that we are on the level where we can say something that matters for other people. But I will tell you right now, you know what? I recently I have completed a yoga teacher training, so I became a yoga teacher. And what happened with me was that I documented my journey. It's like, hey, I'm becoming a yoga teacher. And I received so many messages saying, it's like, oh my God, you're so confident. People are usually posting when they becoming a yoga teacher only when they qualified, and they do all these like crazy asanas and everything. And I'm here, it's like, didn't exercise in 1 year. I hardly can breathe through the session, and I'm like, hey, I'm becoming a yoga teacher. And it's nothing wrong about this, but it's like, this is for me to show people that you don't have to be an expert in anything. No one is born an expert in anything. What happens is like, the more you're going to practice and do what you love, the better you're going to become at it. Like the practice and repetition. Now I'm learning to skateboard, and I didn't stand up on a skateboard and I just became amazing. Like nobody did. I was falling down. I just had 2 lessons now. I was falling down until I got my trick right. It takes days sometimes to get things right, and it's okay. Just be prepared for repetition, be prepared to do what you believe in, and things are going to work out.
Yes, falling 6 times and standing 7 times. So standing always wins against the failing.
Yeah.
So you are absolutely right, Eugenia. Uh, really, we really learn a lot from your experiences. So I am following you. You just skating yesterday, I think, or day before yesterday. I follow you. You are skating. So how was that experience to you, and what actually we learn from this skating?
Mm. You know, I learned actually a lot from skating, a lot, because I I learned that no matter how many times I fall, every single time I'm gonna get up and do it again until I do it, until I do the trick, until it feels good, until I can do it again and again and again. So another thing that I learned is to get out of my head and get into my body, because I think and overthink. I'm not in my body. I cannot skate. My body cannot function. I fall. So I have to completely trust my body to take me on the journey. So I'm not thinking, I'm just like, I'm allowing my thoughts to leave, and I just focus and being present on myself and just allowing my body to take me forward. And this is something that so many people are struggling with, because I can see so many people, it's like driving, but they don't even have no idea how they got to the place, because all the time they've been in their head, being on autopilot, not like, you kind of going through life on autopilot without even noticing anything. But there is so much around us, there is so many experiences around us, the sensations, the smells, the taste, the connection with other people, connection with nature, so much of it. But we miss all of that because very often we just stuck in our head thinking of what has happened, or what will happen, or what needs to happen, and we miss all the beauty in the world that is here right now. So what skating teaches me for sure is to be in the moment and trust myself, trust my body, and just be and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely right. And really, it's a really hard thing to skating. And once you start skating, you learn a lot. You fall down, you get up, you fall down, you get up, and then finally you start doing the skating in a standardized way.
Mm.
So, Eugenia, it's an honor for me and my team on our platform. Thank you so much for being with us. I would love to talk you again on a different specific topic that was basically your interview, and I would love to talk on different topics on healing and influencing the world and uplift the society. Basically, humans are made for humans. So if we don't love to the humans, then the purpose will not fulfill to come into the world. So it's really an honor for us. What would you like to say in last words to advise someone who is facing the sadness?
Mm. So I advise stop thinking and start doing things that you enjoy. Start paying attention to what makes you happy. Start believing in yourself, one step at the time. Just if you really enjoy to have a dessert, like have your favorite cake for for no reason. It doesn't have to be a celebration. Treat yourself to things that are feeling good to you. Speak to somebody who you really love. Pet your beautiful dog or a cat. It's like really allow yourself to experience feelings of love and connection. And yeah, once again, believe in yourself. You're worth it. You're worth it. And you matter.
Thank you so much, Eugina. See you again. Bye bye.
See you. Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.